Is coffee good for you or not? Confused by the dizzying array of studies that seem contradictory at times? You've come to the right place. Here's what to know about coffee's, mostly beneficial, health impacts. When a study came out in 1981 linking coffee to pancreatic cancer in the New England Journal of Medicine, its author, Brian McMahon, spent the next few days taking seemingly endless phone calls from reporters. That burst of media attention, he told the Epidemiology Monitor in an interview shortly after, probably had to do with the fact that it is coffee. It's almost like apple pie as Americans go, and it gives some of them an opportunity to have a go at the mad scientists who are always finding things that cause cancer. McMahon was right about two things. An attack on a drink so deeply ingrained into our ethos was almost like an attack on America itself. And many were fed up with debates around its alleged risks. He was wrong about the cancer, though the study's design turned out to be flawed. A wealth of empirical evidence has since made a strong case for the health benefits of the coffee drinking habit that no one ever really kicked, anyway. Coffee's many health benefits. According to recent research, coffee may even be good for you. The overall evidence has been pretty convincing that coffee has been more healthful than harmful in terms of health outcomes, says Frank Hu, chair of the Department of Nutrition at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health. For most people, moderate coffee consumption can be incorporated into a healthy diet. Hu confirmed what recent studies have found. Moderate coffee intake is linked to a lower likelihood of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, liver and endometrial cancers, Parkinson's disease, and depression. People who drink coffee may even reduce their risk of mortality, though it isn't yet clear exactly what role the beverage plays in our lifespans. And a moderate amount of daily coffee is still pretty generous at 2 to 5 cups a day, according to Hu in a number of large mortality studies. Keeping within reasonable intakes, the benefits really do seem to outweigh any adverse effects, says Marilyn Cornelis, a caffeine and coffee researcher at the Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine. Cornelis has studied coffee extensively, especially the role of genetics in coffee consumption. The key to coffee's powers. Coffee is probably best known for that one natural stimulant, caffeine, that gives people energy and keeps them alert throughout the day. Caffeine binds on adenosine receptors, which normally make you feel sleepy, and reduces their depressive effects. But it's unlikely that caffeine is solely responsible for the health boosts the drink confers. Coffee is a complex, plant-based beverage, which contains not just caffeine, but also hundreds of bioactive compounds, Hu says. That makes it difficult to differentiate the effect of the drink's individual components. Your Morning Joe also contains lots of antioxidants called polyphenols, and they're likely to confer various health benefits. Some polyphenols have been found to fight inflammation and protect against some diseases. Studies have suggested that some of the same reductions in diabetes and heart disease risk are associated with decaffeinated coffee, which means it's not just the caffeine. Why past studies got it wrong? For years, researchers linked coffee to a higher chance of developing some conditions that we now believe it combats. Studies spanning the 1980s and 90s, like McMahon's, pointed to coffee as a suspect in everything from heart disease to asthma. Now, we know that there were likely several explanations for the early coffee studies that have overblown or even incorrectly construed its risks. For one thing, Hu and Cornelis say, a number of studies followed groups of people who drank coffee and also smoked, leading researchers to believe that coffee explained the adverse effects now associated with cigarettes. Today, scientists use more advanced sampling and statistical methods. We've addressed a lot of those limitations of previous studies, Cornelis says. Sometimes the public gets really frustrated with changes in nutrition and health, and that's probably because what we knew 30 years back is different from what we know now, and our methods continually advance. The old claims about coffee's dangers have been largely refuted by more recent studies that include bigger groups of people and account for those outside factors, called confounders, like smoking, that can skew results. According to Hu, anything that people consume plenty of is bound to come under scrutiny. In the past, I think a lot of people thought, oh, coffee's so delicious, there must be something bad about coffee, he says. So I think the good news is that most people, coffee actually confers some health benefits.